Bill, I think your truck is cursed. It just won't stop with the broken parts. It's like an endless array of this is broken, that's broken. Let's find out what's all broken on this thing. Let's get started. This is my friend Bill's 2012 Ram 1500 with the 5.7 Hemi. We've done a lot of work to this truck over the years. Bill's a really good friend of mine. You've seen his cars in the shop before, a Lotus Esprit S4S, a Gold Triumph TR8, Porsche 993, also the 260Z Datsun that we brought back to life many years ago. He's since sold that car, but I haven't seen this truck in a long time. We've done lots of work. We've done lifters and cam many years ago, a whole bunch of other things, and then I haven't seen it in probably 2 or 3 years. And age is catching up to this thing. It has over 200,000 miles on it now. It just had a few leaks. That's all he wanted solved. And I just wish that's all we had to do, but every time we take something apart, this is broke, that's broke, this is rusted. You guys are going to see for yourself when we take a look at it. But before we dive in, let's take a look around Bill's truck. So here's the front of this 2012 Ram. We have one a few years newer, a white one. This one's black with a blacked out grille. The body's in good shape. It doesn't have any rust or dents or anything on it, and it runs and drives very nicely. You can see we have quite a bit apart. There's the wheels there, some nice 20s. This is a crew cab, and it did get driven in the rain, so it's a little dirty. It has water spots and things on it, but Bill drives this thing daily. You see he has his VinWiki sticker on there. But as you can see, it's in really good shape. Let's go ahead and hop under the hood. You guys know I'm all about helping you keep your car running. I don't get many chances to help you with other issues in life. However, this is one of those times, especially if you or someone you care about smokes or vapes. I've seen the struggles my friends have had trying to break their smoking habit. It's not just the nicotine addiction, but the habit, the hand-to-mouth motion. Chewing gum or wearing patches wasn't enough. When they abruptly broke the loop of smoking, they found the cravings were at their worst. That's when they lit back up. When those cravings hit, they should have reached for Fume instead. Fume, sponsor of today's video, is a device that replaces the habit with flavored air, no nicotine or vapors. The dozen flavors they have are similar to vapes but are lighter, more like flavored water rather than soda, ranging from the strongest crisp mint flavor to sweet raspberry. If you or someone you know is ready to break the habit, now's a great time to try Fume. Right now, when you grab a Journey Pack, you'll get a free Fume Topper just for using the code CarWizard. The Fume Topper adds a soft, replaceable, chewable mouthpiece, giving your mouth something safe to chew while cravings hit. Grab this offer while it's available. So head to tryfume.com, that's TRYFUM.com, and use code CarWizard and get your free Fume Topper with your Journey Pack. Now back to this truck. And as big as this truck seems, today's trucks are even bigger. I can imagine having one of the new 2024s. I'd have to get a stepping stool or a ladder or something, or a staircase to work on your truck. It's really crazy.
We could string you up with a cherry picker.
We could. I could hang from a cherry picker and work on your truck. This engine about 8 or 9 years ago, I had the heads off. We did cam, lifters, used Elgin quality parts, and it's been a trooper. Had no trouble since. It's been running great. This is the 5.7 Hemi. It does have MDS. It has plenty of power and also some good fuel economy. If you do the oil changes and keep up on the maintenance and everything, it can be a good engine. Some people shut off the MDS, but I don't think this one is. Bill likes the fuel economy it gives, and I don't blame him. He's had no trouble since then, so there's really not a whole lot we're going to be doing in the engine bay. Everything's doing great, but there's been some serious leaks going on. So let's let Mrs. Wizard show you guys around the interior. They're going to get it in the air and find out where are these leaks coming from.
Okay, ladies and gents, this has 221,258 miles on this thing. And wow, that's quite a few on here, Bill. But as you can see, our gauge cluster's looking really nice up there. Simple, easy to read. So move up, okay. Like we got some little stitching going on here on our hard plastic dash. And as we move, you'll see we have a little tray there for coins. I wouldn't know if I'd put the cell phone in there. It's a little shallow. We've got an interesting glove box. We've got a high box, which opens up. There's Bill's sunglasses. And then we've got a low box down below. And there's his owner's manual. So, okay, got nice storage areas in the car. We've got a nice Sirius radio in here, at least Sirius equipped, which I guess still exists. Vents on the side, simple control buttons on each side there as well. And then we've got a nice tray below that. gear selector. This is just a massive, massive amount of space. Definitely like the width of your arm here, because again, this could have been a bench seat in previous generations, but in this case, it's just a massive armrest and cup holder, hand sanitizer, drink holder. So underneath there, we've got a nice coin collection. We do have a split kind of center console area here. Do have our RAM there in the center, but you can see enough space for two people to have their arms and not actually, well, touch each other. It's a long ways over there. So you get to those seats. We've got leather on the side, cloth in the center, door card, hard plastic to match that dash, but it's got a little bit of silver accents there by that actual handle to close the door. Let's get to the back seat. Yes, we can have 5 people ride in this car, and I would actually say 5 people could, because look at the amount of legroom. Looking nice. Not so sure if that center person is going to appreciate the drinks below their feet, but okay, that's just the way it is. Headliner up above, looking good, like that it's raised there so the back seat people have more headroom. And one thing about the steering wheel as we're back here, it does look like it has been re-wrapped. So it does probably have some age on it, because again, it's got 200,000 miles on here of barely driving this thing around. And actually, you know, this poor truck has had a couple other scary events in its life. One time it was actually stolen out of his driveway. Let me tell you, Bill has not had luck with this truck. So let's go ahead and actually get this up in the air and see what's wrong on the underneath.
So first off, we're going to go ahead and check these brakes and wheels.
Wizard, there's none there. There's some control arms you can look at.
That's right, everything's removed. One thing we are going to start off and notice right away is the front main seal is starting to leak. Let's take a look. You can see the oil pan has some glistening right here. It's coming from the front main seal. That will only continue to get worse. That's not the biggest leak it had. We have 2 more leaks to go. The second one is kind of the medium level leak, and the third one's even bigger. The third leak, Bill actually mentioned that it's currently leaking more oil in his driveway than both his Lotus Esprit and his Triumph TR8 are together. It's leaking so much. He's like, I got to get this fixed. So let's go ahead and move on down. Obviously, we have the CV shafts out and the steering knuckles and everything off. And the reason why is because of this second leak. Let's take a look. You can see our differential is all coated in oil, and it was actually spraying oil back this way. It's because this axle seal and this axle seal, where the CV shafts actually snap onto the stubs here, is leaking oil out of them pretty bad. We've got this drained. We're going to go ahead and replace those seals and do a service of the differential. Now, Bill keeps us on the services, so I know with over 200,000 miles on it, where it's not really an issue changing out the fluid. So really, transmissions are another issue. When they get over about 150,000 miles, I don't like to mess with them. But there's more to the story on this transmission. So that's why there's oil here on this differential. Our oil pan is nice and dry, but as you look up towards the cylinder head, you can see the valve covers are just starting to leak. From 8 or 9 years ago, those gaskets are now, with age, are starting to seep. And with 8 or 9 years and 100,000 miles since we did that job, it's not uncommon for the gaskets to start leaking again, strictly from age. Here we have our transmission, which has been rebuilt not too long ago. He had that done at another shop, a local trusted shop in Wichita. We didn't do the rebuild, but it recently started leaking really bad around the transmission. Take a look. You can see right here, right along the pan, it's starting to leak really bad. It leaves quite the mess on the driveway. So with the pan leak, we're going to go ahead and service the transmission. I know it doesn't have 200,000 miles on it. It's been rebuilt not too long ago, so I feel confident that we can go ahead, just do a fluid service, filter, new gasket. That will solve the worst of the leaks that this truck has. Through these leaks and things that we wanted to address, taking things apart to get to the seals and things, we've only found, oh wow, that's broken, that's broken. It just keeps piling up, and I'll show you that here in a minute. And for those of you working at a quick lube, 18 foot-pounds. Bill even wrote it for you. 18 foot-pounds, not 180. 18. So please don't strip out his oil pan drain. That would not be good. But here's our drive shaft. Nothing loose with the U-joints there. Here's our transfer case. We currently are draining it, in the process of doing a service on it. It needs to be done. It's been done about 100,000 miles ago. We're going to go ahead and do it again now. Drive shaft is good there. One thing you'll notice on this truck as we look around is that the frame rails and everything, it don't have serious rust. There is a little bit though. I'll show you the rust. Right here is starting to rust a little bit. We might put some paint over that to keep it from getting worse. but that's not going to be detrimental or cause any issues. We do see this hanger is broken though. See, Bill, I told you, we keep finding more and more and more and more. This was supposed to be right here. We'll just tack weld that back on for you. As we move back to our rear differential, we are servicing it as well. It wasn't leaking or anything. Let's check our back brakes. They're about 40% remaining. I don't see anything leaking there. Sway bar links are good. Sway bar bushings are good. The shock looks fairly new. 40% on the brakes back here. Sway bar link is good. Bushing is good. Shock is not blown. It's fairly new. So everything looks good on this axle. So most everything looks pretty good under here. Nothing real serious. It does have some nice dual exhaust on it. And yes, the spare is full of air. Let's check the date codes on those tires before we lower it down. So we see it's 15th week of 25, so they're fairly new. We don't have to mess with tires on this trip, so let's go ahead and get this thing lowered down.
Wizard, you interrupted the lift music.
Well, there's some things I want to show you guys as we're getting the CV shafts removed so we can replace those leaking seals. The parts tally just keeps climbing and climbing. It's like, I don't want to replace more parts. I just want to fix the leaks and be done with. This truck is adamant. It's showing us all of its true colors, all of its flaws. So one thing we noticed right away, we got the knuckle removed and this ball joint. It's got quite a lot of play in it. And also, just so you know, the brake pads are at about 50% remaining. They have quite a lot of life left, so we'll just put those back on. But it just keeps going. There's more. Just wait. There's more. We'll move this tie rod out of the way. You can see right here that this piece of the sway bar is literally just cracked in half and fallen down. And you can see the bushings on this sway bar link are obviously no good anymore, but this is completely cracked in half. But wait, there's more. Let's head on over to the other side. This ball joint is even worse than the other one. That's no good. We're not going to put it back together that way. These ball joints are worn out and shot. And you know, when you thought, oh, we'll just put the blinders on and pretend like we didn't see it. No, we're not going to do that. Bill is very adamant that he wants proper service and he wants it done correctly. I really like doing work with Bill. I'm not going to just pretend like I didn't see that. Let's go ahead and take a look at this sway bar here. And you can see it's on its way out. It's just about to split in half and the crack is moving down the sway bar itself. So we definitely noticed those things coming apart. We also just noticed when you saw when we were underneath the car that there's an exhaust hanger hanging. Corrosion is starting to take its toll on this truck. Luckily the frame has just a little bit going on, but there's definitely some suspension components that are starting to show their 200,000 mile age. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing the remainder of the way back down. So as you can see, the list is starting to grow really fast. Luckily, like I said, I enjoy doing business with Bill. Whenever I present these things to him, he's like, okay, that's unfortunate, but I don't want to keep driving it with broken parts, so, you know, let's go ahead and fix it. He doesn't get angry, but I have had customers get mad at me. Why do you keep trying to find stuff wrong? Do you actually want me to pretend like I didn't see it? Bro, that sway bar is on its way out. It's going to break in half at some point. But anyways, what came in for a small little issue, just some leaks, a list about this long turned into a list this long. Luckily, we're going to go ahead, got the approval to fix everything. Bill's the kind of person, I want to get it done and then I can drive my truck for quite a while and I don't have to worry about all this stuff. Yes, like Mrs. Wizard said, when you should have watched the interior review, I hope you did. This truck has been stolen before. I remember getting the text from Bill. He's like, my truck's gone. I said, what do you mean it's gone? It's literally stolen, bro. It's gone. He's like, I came home and my truck, somehow they got in and I don't know if they had bypassed the ignition or whatever. They got it started and it's just gone. He was freaking out. What am I going to do? Blah, blah, blah. Luckily, the police found it. Actually wasn't too far away from his house. Was able to recover it and it really wasn't damaged or hurt. But for a couple of days there, Bill was stressing. He was like, oh my God, I just lost my truck. So, the stories this truck can tell. It's had the heads off. It's been stolen. The transmission's been rebuilt. A huge list of work has been done to this truck, but it's still worth it. And shockingly, this is his most reliable vehicle. When you own a Lotus and a Triumph and old Porsches and things like that, they're always broken. This one's not always broken. Oh, by the way, just like all the older Dodge Rams, it's had the TIPM or the TIPM replaced because it was doing weird things with all the body controls and things. Me and Bill were actually talking about this, and I said, man, this thing is really starting to rack up the bill here. Maybe you want to look for another truck? Just kind of throwing it out there to him, and we both agreed, hell no. He was like, Wizard, I do not want a $90,000 truck. He says, I refuse to pay that kind of money for a truck. He said, I'll put 10 grand into this one and just keep trucking for another 50, 100,000 miles. Maybe even 150. It could go quite a while longer. It's going to take some repairs here and there. With the price of today's trucks, I've been hearing that from a lot of customers. When I mention, hey, this thing's getting long in the tooth, blah, 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 they're like, hell no, I don't want a new truck. There's no way in hell you're going to get me to sign anything for $90,000 just for a truck. Like, nope. So is it worth it to do all this work? Absolutely. It drives like new, it runs like new, it does have some small amount of corrosion starting, but this thing has lots of life left in it. Definitely a lot more life than going in debt for $90,000. Another comment that Bill made is, I like to stick with the enemy that I know. I've done the maintenance, I'm familiar with this truck, I know what it can do, I know what it can't do, I know exactly where I stand with this truck. I've told you guys in previous videos, I cannot recommend a 2024 or newer vehicle. None of them. They are that bad. And then you go to sign a lease or a car payments for a brand new truck. Now you have an enemy you don't know. Because just because it's brand new, doesn't mean it's not going to break. Today's brand new cars are breaking left and right. So, this is what he's going to do. Go ahead and fix this one and keep on going. So I definitely wanted to get a video out there to show you guys that sometimes when you bring a vehicle in just for a leak, it can turn into basically a can of worms. It can get really bad really fast. Be prepared for that. I've had a few customers come in where they maybe budgeted to get the one thing fixed. We find other things wrong, and we have to procrastinate and put it off to a later date. I understand that. Make sure to fix the things that are very important, like leaks that could leave you stranded or things that are cracked or broken. You don't want to get into an accident. But don't get mad at the mechanic. Just like in this situation here, corrosion is taking its toll on a lot of parts on this truck. You can't turn a blind eye to it. It's going to continue to get worse. Bill is actually an accomplished mechanic. There's a lot of work he can do himself as long as it's accessible. But anything that requires it to be on a lift, he doesn't have a lift. And he's about the same age as I am, maybe a little older, and I agree with him. I'm to the age, I don't want to lay on the ground. I just don't. There's no way. You really need a lift to tackle all these things. We can get it done, knocked out in just a short amount of time and have him back on the road. And then all the problems are solved for now. So luckily there's not a whole lot we need to fix back here on the rear end. No services or anything other than just the rear end service itself. Also, before we go, I want to thank our sponsor Fume for sponsoring today's video. If you know anyone, family member or friend that's struggling with the nicotine addiction thing, definitely give Fume a try. It's definitely worth it. And if you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to work on this Dodge, or Ram, as they call them, a Ram now, or any other vehicle in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. A lot of the tools we use every day are tried and true and proven, are listed for sale there. And if you purchase anything, we get a small cut and really appreciate it. And make sure to hit the subscribe button before you go, and the notification bell, because we have a full schedule, which means tons of videos for you guys. Thanks for watching.